Hello. Hi, everyone. Hello. It's Jane and Cheryl. Joke. It's not. Look, so Cheryl is unavailable today because, as everyone knows, she's in San Francisco, and we thought it would be really, really nice to, show you that it's not just me and Cheryl in a bedsit somewhere writing reviews, but we've got a whole gorgeous team of people who read these books and bring these reviews to you. And one of them you would know because we talk about Jasmine all the time. But anyway, so Jasmine's being thrown in the deep end today, so be kind. It's the first time on a Better Reading Live, but she's like, so well, you're a massive book nerd, aren't you, Jasmine?
Massive book nerd. I'm so excited to be here today to say hello to everyone.
And Jasmine edits all of our book reviews. She's got an amazing eye for the written word and everything. So anyway, welcome, Jasmine, today to the very first Better Reading. What are you reading? Live. So hi, everyone. I'm sure everyone's like, yeah, here we go. Here's all the regulars
coming through. Should we read some
hi, and they're all saying hi to you, which is great.
Hello,
so, we're having a very big month with books. Huge month with books. Tell me what, so far this year, Jasmine, what's your favourite book that you've read?
So many. If I had to pick my favourite book this year so far, I'll just dive in. Shall I just dive in?
Yeah, dive in. Tell me, because I know that you've loved a few of the recent ones. You've been saying that. Yeah.
This is my favourite book so far.
Oh, wow. Okay, good. Yeah.
It's great. And this is a debut novel, but you wouldn't know that by reading it. It's an assured debut. It is beautifully written. It sounds like coming from a far more experienced author. Like it reads, it's so polished. And it's a bitingly honest and darkly funny novel about a young opera singer who has a relationship with an older, wealthier man who works in finance. And it sort of explores the power imbalance there.
Yeah.
It touches on feminism, finance, and being young, and it's great.
Do you feel like it has a little bit of a Sally Rooney feel? Because I know that you
have a Sally Rooney feel. I think fans of Sally Rooney and Meg Mason will enjoy it.
Oh, well, I mean, we love Meg. Yeah.
And Cheryl recorded a podcast with her, and it's out now, and you can all listen to it.
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it? She's and a debut, but do you find, because you've been working at Better Reading for a while now, there are some very, very strong debut authors coming out. Yeah. I mean, in fact, I think we've got quite a few today. We've got
we do.
We've got the Torrent. Actually, where is it? Here. That one. That is as well. And I loved this because now Danuka McKenzie, over this way, she the protagonist in this, the female cop detective, she's has Sri Lankan heritage. She is pregnant. She's female. It's such a fresh take on the whole, the whole kind of thriller crime trope and the old guy who's trying to solve the crime. It's a really, really interesting character who I think we're going to be seeing more of. I do feel that probably it's the first in the series with this one. And Cheryl recorded a podcast with her as well, and she's amazing. This won the Banjo Prize 2020, and so everyone was raving about it when it came out. And I was thinking, I didn't actually have the hard copy until a couple of days ago. And I went, oh, okay, I've got to read this in a PDF on my computer. And I read it in one sitting. That's how. And I'm not like thrillers. I'll read them. I like a lot of them, but they're not my niche passion of what I read. It was great. It's such a great, and it's set in northern New South Wales as well, which I thought was a bit of a fresh kind of location and stuff. So the Torrent is a great read.
It was on for our last night as well, Danuka McKenzie.
Yeah. Let us know if you actually saw her her event and what you thought. But we've got some comments there. What have we got? Oh, gosh, we've got so many comments. Mary, hello all. Win, the Torrent is a great read. Great. Karen says, I'm reading The Night Fire by Michael Connolly. Do you know he came into the office and honestly, I was a little starstruck. Well, thinking because there's not many megastar authors, but there's a few, and he's a megastar author. Nicest man. Such a nice man. And I think this, Jasmine, if we want like a Q&A off Michael Connolly, or if we want to ask him something, if he's got a book coming out or something, he's really responsive. Like he really loves Australian readers. Yeah,
it's great. And he pops in and he says hello, and that's not usually the case with these.
No, it's not for authors of that level, because he's got TV series and all of that. But he's So Karen, take note of that as well with Michael Connolly. Tracy, hi Tracy. I'm reading The Covered Wife by Lisa Emanuel. Yep, we did that at work and loved it actually. Sharon just picked up The Torrent, and Donna, Emma Fitzgerald, the young lass presenting is my daughter-in-law. Oh, is that?
Oh, that's Donna.
Yeah. Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm reading A Slow Fire Burning. That's Melinda. Mary. Hi, hi, Mary. I enjoyed Danuka's event. Excellent. And there's Joy Bell. Yes, I saw the event last night. I love Joy Bell's at all our events. What else have you got to show us?
So our book of the week.
Yep.
Made by Nita Prose. So there's a lot of buzz about this book at the moment. It's only just
a lot.
Yeah, it's already a New York Times bestseller, which is always a good sign. So it's set in the Grand Regency Hotel, which is a luxurious hotel, and the maid character is a maid named Molly.
Yeah.
And she loves her job. She's very passionate about her work until one of the guests, a high-profile guest, turns up dead, and Molly becomes the main suspect.
Yeah.
So a murder mystery with sort of in the vein of Agatha Christie.
Yeah.
And if you like a cozy crime, which is doing so well at the moment.
It is. It's kind of moving towards that. Not move. I mean, it's not like we're leaving thrillers behind, but this whole cozy thing is really doing well, isn't it? Yeah.
And it's nice. It's a good book to escape with. Yeah.
Do you think that's going to be the first in a series?
I hope so. That would be great. I would love to read more of it. And she's actually just a really interesting protagonist as well. She's unique.
Yeah. And what's the name of the author? Because she's like
Nita Prose.
Isn't she like the head of publishing at?
She is. Yeah. She's a major publishing house in Canada. Yeah. And so she's well across it. She's spent years working with authors, and this is her debut. So now she's
another one. Yeah. And she spent years looking at the craft and working with the craft, and then she's delivered something really special. Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. I think so that's being turned into a film, isn't it?
Oh, yes. They're turning it into a film now, and the film adaptation is, I think it's going to star Florence Pugh, who I really like. So, I'm excited for that.
Wow.
But you should always read the book first before you watch the film. So,
yeah. Look, that one is, I mean, I know you read that and loved it. It is on my bedside table, but I don't know when I'll get to it, but everyone's raving about it. So I'm definitely leaving it there. So, Who else have we got here? Lisa says, just finished The Hating Game. Susan says, Esther, I don't know. Claire, I love last night's event. Great. I'm fascinated by the lead character. It's about time. And I agree. And Jasmine and I have had this conversation a lot. There are, great crime writers and great thrillers out there. But you do get to a point when you're reading it that you're a little bit sick of the Jane Doe body. You're a little bit sick of the sort of the man solving the mystery or whatever.
Detective.
Yeah. And this doesn't sort of push a feminist agenda on you at all. It's simply, as it should be, like, look at this amazing woman who is, she's got swollen ankles because she's a few weeks off giving birth and she's about to go on maternity leave, and they shoved this case at her. And and it's a great read. It's a really good one. So I think it'll do well, actually. Ebony says, I'm currently reading This Is How It Always Is, and counting down the workday so I can get back into it. Ah, wow, that's good. Yeah, might have to leave work early. Hi, Jane and Jasmine from Kylie. I'm currently reading Snowy Mountains Water. Yeah, so we did that one a few weeks ago, didn't we?
We did, yeah. Nice little romance.
Very popular one as well. So what else have we got? I'm going to show this one.
Yes.
50 questions to ask teens. So this is one that's on the kids page this week, but we're also doing it on B. And look, you know, I'll be honest, I'm struggling with my 17-year-old at the moment. Like, seriously, he's just gone into year 12. We're 2 weeks into year 12, and I have received 2 texts telling me he's not at school. And when I message him, he's at the gym, right? Because everything is meaningless because of the pandemic. Okay, so what's the point of going to school, and what's the point, you know? So when Daisy Turnbull's book, and it is that Turnbull, as in Malcolm's daughter, but she's been a teacher, and I've known of her for years at an eastern suburb school. She teaches teens at high school. She's a mum, and she also works at Lifeline. So she really understands the crisis that is happening at the moment with young people. Young people always struggle with finding their identity, right? But then throw a pandemic on top of that, and they can't see, a light at the end of the tunnel, So 50 questions to ask your teen. Now, when I saw this, I thought, it's going to be some sort of beat by beat questions. It's actually 50 separate chapters. Anyone who has a teenager, knows a teenager, was a teen, whatever, must get this book, because each chapter starts with the question and then gives you a real explanation of why that's important and how to have that conversation with a young person. And I do try to talk to, my kids as much as possible. But, how can I help you to be a man of compassion and respect? What a great question to start with.
Yeah, that is very deep.
Right? And the chapter, of course, is all around that, and gives you reasons why that's an important question, how to address it with a young person. So this is, if any teachers out there, it's a really great book, and very, very worthwhile adding this one to your collection. Yeah.
All right. What do we have next? We've got, I know there are so many Anita Abriel. So This is the latest. It's The Italian Girl. Her first novel was The Light After the War, which was massive a couple of years back.
And so popular.
It was really popular.
Yeah.
The second was Lana's War last year. Again, very popular. And so now she's got The Italian Girl. Yeah. And it follows a fearless young Italian girl who risks everything to save precious artworks from the Nazis during World War II.
Yeah, so right.
If you love your World War II historical fiction, which we know
you do.
A lot of you do.
And you read a lot of it, so you know what kind of floats to the top. We get a lot of good writers in that genre, but then you'll have those ones that you go, I loved this even more, you know? Yeah.
Anita Abriel, definitely up there. Another book, Jane, you were reading the latest.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I love reading her stuff. So J.D. Robb, as everyone knows, is Nora Roberts.
Yeah.
And I have a bit of a thing for Nora Roberts because there are a few writers out there who are hugely successful and they kind of franchise their brand, and James Patterson's one of them. And, and I mean, he's very transparent about that, and Candace Fox does an amazing job along with other authors who, write with him and or for him. Now, somehow Nora Roberts churns out books without doing that, right? She must, I don't know whether she has a life, but anyway, whatever. She's, and she is a master at plotting.
She is.
really is. Her writing is so polished. You might not like her romances or her thrillers. So Nora Roberts, if you don't know, she writes under J.D. Robb as well when she's writing crime. This is number 54 in the series.
And that's just her thrillers. That's not including other books.
Yeah, that's not including all the others. So that's with the character Eve Dallas. She's untangling this kind of family mystery. You would think at number 54 that she's running out of ideas. She isn't. She knows how to plot. She drives a story forward really, really well. And I'm full of admiration for the woman. Like, seriously. Yeah. Abandoned in Death is the latest one that's out. I know a lot of you like her. I'm having a sweat here. I don't know whether I'm like having a hot flush or whether it's like really hot today.
It's a hot day today. It is. It is. Look at some of the comments. So Linda Lane said, I saw the talk by the Torrent author, was very informative, read the first chapter on your site this morning, and I've ordered it from the library.
That's great. Love that you've said that you've read that chapter on our site. Yeah. It's a really good thing for people to go on, read an extract, and then you get a feel for whether you want to read the rest of it. Yeah.
And we do put out the extract for most of the books that we talk about. So just keep an eye on our page. And we'll turn up and you can see if it's for you. Tracy Anderson said she just got The Maid. Let us know how it goes, Tracy.
Yeah.
Andre Wong, I'm reading The Inheritance by Gabriel Bergamosa. I read that last year. That's
He's amazing. He's really turning them out too, actually. Yeah.
He is. He's a great new emerging crime novelist. Yeah. In Australian crime, which is.
And he writes, I think he writes kids as well, doesn't he?
YA. Yeah. Yeah, which is, Victoria Brookman, one of our resident authors, she says, I'm reading an early copy of No Hard Feelings by debut Aussie author Genevieve Novak. It is brilliant. Can't wait for everyone to read it.
Great.
So, great.
Good plug. Yeah.
Yeah. And Elizabeth P. Silver, I loved Molly the Maid. It is a must read. I agree with this. If you love your cozy crime, you will love it. Yeah. Okay, so next on the list we have The Kane, which is another.
The Kane. Well, because you read that as well, didn't you? It's really atmospheric. This, I mean, she's written true crime.
Yes.
And this is her first fiction novel. And she has the same kind of sense of sort of urgency and, and the way she plots. As she does her true crime, she's very good at that. But I found the cane fields in this like almost overpowering in that place. Like it was in a really great setting.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So it's set in a North Queensland, a small town, and a girl goes missing in this in the cane fields. And it's just a dark, gritty, atmospheric murder mystery. It sort of reminded me of The Dry a little. There's sort of.
I think we'll be hearing more from her, actually. I think she's got a really good voice for it. Yeah.
Okay, so that's The Kane. Another book I liked was Moonlight and the Pearler's Daughter.
Yes, and we did a podcast with her. So
we did, and I think it's coming out next week. So stay tuned for that, everyone. This one's set in Western Australia in the 19th century, and it's a historical mystery. It sort of explores the gritty underbelly of the pearling industry back then. And I didn't know anything about pearling before I read this. So it was fascinating to learn about that piece of our history.
Where's Lizzie Duke from? Because she travelled to Western Australia and found that story and became
UK.
Yes, she visited and became sort of obsessed with this kind of story. And
it's a fictional town, but she sort of modelled it off the early Australian pearling hubs like Broome. And she spent time up there when she's writing this, and it really shows the setting in this. It's very atmospheric, and it also has just a strong female lead at the center, which I love.
And we know you love that, Jasmine.
Yeah.
Jasmine gets very, it's like a strong female leader. And I love that. I love that, because, Cheryl and I are surrounded by you and Natalie and Rose, and you've got this kind of real desire to see these strong female leads. And
it's important to see them in fiction. Yeah.
Yeah.
So some more comments. Lisa is reading You Need to Know by Nicola Moriarty.
Yeah.
We read that. We talked about that one last year. Claire is reading, I love reading The Maid for our preview program.
Yes, great.
Yeah.
And if you want to be a part of the preview program, sign up to our newsletter on the website.
Yes.
Because you can have free books and you can, write a 1-paragraph review for us. Yeah.
It's a great opportunity to read books before they're published. So
we get a lot of people signing up for those. So do get one. Who was that got one?
That was Anne. Yes.
Anne. Anyway, so Anne, great, good work, because we've had up to 700 people sort of signing up for a particular.
Yeah. And it's you go in the draw. So if you enter enough times, you're bound to eventually.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's a numbers game. Yeah.
So Mary said she's reading State of Fear by Tim Aleph. We love Tim Aleph.
We love Tim. Yeah.
We had Tim Aleph at our Christmas.
Yeah, and they're all going to be turned into a series, TV series. So
exciting. And Natalie Burke, I'm about to finish reading Shine Like It Does, The Life of Michael Hutchins, and then I'm going to reread Lucky by Jackie Collins, a perfect summer read.
Fantastic. Yeah, great. 2 amazing people. Yeah.
Okay, so the next book we have is The Very Last List of Vivian Walker.
Yeah.
So this book it's kind of it's a bit sad, but it's also one of those sad novels that's uplifting at the same time.
It's kind of a bucket list kind of novel, isn't it?
Yeah. So the main character, Vivian, she's dying, and she still has a list of things she has to do. And it's not like crazy bucket list level epic, it's normal things. Like she has to clean the spare room.
In that. There's so much beauty in that whole concept. Yeah.
So she's got, it's kind of like a celebration of the mundane and the everyday.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
And it's it's beautiful. So it's a good read. I think this is going to be pretty big.
Isn't it interesting how we get these books, right, that so The Very Last List of Vivian Walker, and then the other book we're going to talk about today is Lily Hartford's Last Request. And we've discussed this before. Like suddenly you'll have like a few books that, and they're not anything alike. You can read all of them and it's sort of within a particular genre, and then that'll pass and then there's something else. But so Lily Hartford's Last Request by Joanna Buckley. Lily is diagnosed with dementia, and she asks for someone to help her die. And and I didn't realize this when I read it, from the very opening page that she gets her request. So someone does help her die, and it's quite confronting. But it sets the tone for the book, as in that this is a serious subject, but it doesn't it's beautiful. It's a beautiful, wise, heartfelt story about a very sensitive subject. A lot of the book is told in like flashbacks of her life, and it's about a life well lived and having that choice to die with dignity. And I will say that the twist at the end, because you never know who did it, who helped her, and the twist at the end was incredibly satisfying for me. It was, I feel quite emotional. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful book, and I had a little bit of a few times actually. So Lily Hartford's Last Request by Joanna Buckley.
Great. So Elizabeth said she's looking forward to reading Moonlight and the Pearler's Daughter. It sounds amazing. Yeah, I think you'll like Elizabeth. And Suzanne said she read Apples Never Fall. Is that the latest, Leanne?
Yeah, did we do that? No, I don't know if any of us actually got. I think we all said we've got that on our list to read.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether anyone did. But yeah.
Let us know how it goes.
Yeah.
And Kaz says she's about to start The Way It Is Now by Gary Disher. I read that.
Yeah.
That's great. Love Gary.
Gary's great. Yes.
Yeah,
oh, Mary's saying listening to the Kane on audio. And that's another thing, you know, most of these books that we do are available on audio. I know at the end of last year we were kind of mentioning that. We should probably get back into it actually and let them know if it's on audio, because I know some of you, you know, that really helps. Do you listen to audio, Jasmine?
I do. I like to listen to audio when I'm sort of moving around the house, when I've got things to do, I'm cleaning. It's a nice way to pass.
Do you listen to fiction or non-fiction?
I like fiction. I'm more of a fiction reader.
Yeah, I listen to my non-fiction on audio. I do it in the car or when I'm walking the dog, and then I read my fiction, you know. But if I didn't have, you know, audio and, you know, I use Belinda, and stuff like that. I have that, you know, I wouldn't be devouring the amount of because I love nonfiction and I love all the woo-woo stuff, but I don't get to read that, you know, you're laughing at me too, like Cheryl does, yeah.
As Cheryl would say, the woo-woo.
Yeah. Look, I'm going to give one last shout out to Wild Dogs by Michael Torrent, it's another thriller, it's set in Western Australia. It's very atmospheric. What I really love about this, so Michael, he's a bit of a jack of all trades and has, you know, worked as a farmer, but all sorts of things. And then this is his second novel, and I think he's found his calling because it's great. I think we're going to see a bit more of this particular character in this. But there are also a couple of chapters, and I know this is going to sound weird, but it's actually not at all, because the main character is he catches wild dogs. There's a couple of chapters from the perspective of the dingo. And it really is fresh and very Australian, you know. And it's so well written. It's very, very polished writing, and just really just great. You know, you don't know where you're going with it, and you just keep turning the pages. So Wild Dogs by Michael Torrent.
Yeah.
Okay, have we got anything else?
One last book to just briefly mention, because we're going to cover this in a bit more detail next week when we work on it. But we've got Dressed by Iris, Marianne O'Connor. She's going to be joining us for our live Facebook event next week.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. I'm not going to go into too much detail on this.
Such a stunning cover. Marianne, like, we know a lot of readers love her. She's so nice. She's such a nice person. So I cannot wait for this event with her. And so that's really exciting.
And that's next Wednesday night at 8 p.m.
Next Wednesday. Yeah, so come along, 2-hour events. They're all like week after week now, 8 p.m. on a Wednesday night. Also, we have an exciting announcement on Monday. We're not going to tell you right now, but just keep an eye out on our Facebook page. So we're announcing something on Monday.
Yep.
Go onto our Instagram and like our Instagram. If you have an Instagram page, like our Better Reading Kids and Better Reading B. But the Better Reading one, we're just starting back up for the year with a day in the life of an author video. Yes. And they're fun. They're really fun, where authors do silly things, or they show us where they write, or they just do something where you get this insight into their lives. And, you know, I'm sorry, can you hear my dog snoring? No, it's not.
No.
Joey. So loud from here. I'm sweating. I've got a snoring dog. I'm working from home. I think that's about it.
That's it. I think we've covered all the books.
Yeah. And, you know, we've got so many comments there, but it's so great for you to do this week.
Yeah.
And it's good.
It's been so fun. I'm usually behind the camera. So
you're usually checking comments and adding things. And so you're here for every event, but you're not in front of the camera. So it's really great that everyone got to meet you today. And you'll have to come on more often. Yeah.
I love it. Sounds good.
All right, so we'll be back next week for more What Are You Reading? And until then, just keep on reading.
Yeah.
Bye for now.